Good afternoon to everybody, and thank you very much for giving me opportunity for this World CIO 200 Summit APAC. My topic for the discussion today will be regarding the startup ecosystem in India and STPI focus in India. I am Dr. Sanjay Tyagi. I am the CEO of FinBlue and the Director STPI-Chennai as well. So before going to the fintech disruption in our country, I would like to talk about a little bit about the STPI. STPI have been at forefront for the growth of the IT, ITS, and the ESDM exporting industry in our country. When the economic liberalization happened in our country in 1991, STPI, this whole economic liberalization have actually manifested through STPI for IT, ITS, and the ESDM industry. We have been the front end to the government of India to implement so many schemes which has been formalized in the foreign trade policy by the government of India. We have also at the front end for providing the IT infrastructure and the datacom services to the IT exporting industry. We have also initiated the incubation program to nurture the startups into the technology space. And we have also provided the interface between the industry, academia, and the industry. So this was the basic role of the STPI, which has been given to us, and a special purpose vehicle have been formed under the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology for implementing this, all these policies of the government of India for the benefit of the IT, ITS, and the ESDM industry. What was the key achievement and what was the impact of this, scheme? We have accelerated the growth of the software exports from the country. We have supported the SMEs and the startups. We have become a vehicle for the uniform regional development, and we have actually accelerated the employment generation. So this far, in 1991, the story which has started in 1991, which has, so far have made us very, very successful as far as the, nurturing the IT services industry in our country. The first flywheel, which has taken almost into a $1 trillion economy, was actually IT services, which has started in 1989, and which has, as on today, we are able to have the US dollars 207 billion revenue due to the exports in the IT, ITS, and the ESDM services. US dollar 147 is the exports, and it has resulted in employment of 4.30 million people employed. So this journey have been very successful, and this has given ample opportunity for the IT professionals in our country. We have ended up getting 56% of the total IT services market globally. It has been outsourced to India, and which has resulted in such an employment. So this is a very successful story as far as the IT services is concerned. So this we call as the first disruption which has happened in India, which has started in 1989 or 91. The second disruption is starting now since 2016, when India have started creating a startup ecosystem in our country. India's have given a digital push to nurture the startup ecosystem and in our country through various programs like Startup India program, Stand Up India program, Make in India program, and this has resulted into in creating a database of some startup ecosystem of 27,000 startups have developed so far, and they have been valued up to US dollar 90 billion, and out of them 90,000 are into the deep tech. We are having 24 unicorns out of that. So STPI so far have only implemented the IT and ESDM exporting schemes which has been given to us. But now we thought that why we should not also embark upon this new India's digital push, and we have decided to set up center of excellences into the emerging technologies so that we can also support the startup ecosystem in our country. If we talk about the ecosystem, the projections of the startup ecosystem in 2025, then we feel that we will be having some 100,000 startups by 2025, and they will be able to create the employment of 3.25 million. They will be valued at 500 billion, and 30 million SMEs shall be lifted will be lifted up by this program. India's fintech disruption, has happened through following 4-point approach. We have solved the, solving for identity in the form of the Aadhaar for formalization, getting everyone a bank account or equivalents to deposit money, which is known as Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana, and building scalable platforms to move money through various platforms like IMPS, UPI, BBPS, etc., and allowing all the banks and the fintechs and all other players in wealth, insurance, and lending also to access these platforms like UPI, GST, and DigiLocker to innovate. So this framework has led India into a fintech revolution. The tremendous success of the India Stack have been developed on this on this jam trinity: Jan Dhan account, Aadhaar, and mobile. As you all know that we have mobile penetration. The smart mobile penetration is up to 60 to 70% in our country. Aadhaar has been given to more than 1.27 billion people in our country, and Jan Dhan accounts are also equivalent. So this India Stack have got a tremendous success, and we are able to provide a presence-less authentication, a paperless, paperless layer for the people to, take on the customer, eKYC, know your customer, and a cashless layer. We can able to transact the money through the cashless layer, and we are having all the data in our store, which is the consent layer, which makes the India Stack complete. So this is something which has got a tremendous success in our country, and India Stack numbers are the testimony that India is actually leaping frog in its quest to reach out to the last person in the economic chain to include into the banking system. This whole disruption have actually started in between the 2015 to 2020. These are the phenomenal growth here for the new startup in our country. They have grown into the payments, lending, wealth, and other domains. In the recent report, it has been told that in March 2020, India have accounted for the highest fintech adoption rate, which has rose to 87% out of all the emerging markets in the world. The fintech market in India has been valued at 25.92 billion in 2019, and it has rose to, it is expected to reach to 83.81 billion by 2025. And we are able to see a CAGR growth of 22.7% during the 2020 to 25 period. India will be contributing 2.2% of the digital payment market by 2023, which is going to be 12.4 trillion globally by 2025. So fintech has a potential for creating, competition, innovation, employment opportunities, and to enable various sectors like payment, lending, personal finance management, regtech, wealth tech, insurtech, blockchain, cryptocurrency, and cybersecurity. And we have decided that in all these 4 domains, we would like to nurture the startup ecosystem in our country. So far, if you see that we are having, having a very steady growth of the fintech startups. We were having 1,400 fintech startups in 2018, which has rose to 2,174 in 2020. And the investment was 1.92 billion in 2018, which has rose to 3.47 billion in 2019. And for last 2 quarters, if I only talk about Q1 and Q2 of 2020, and despite this, COVID, we are able to get some 1.7 billion have been invested into the Indian fintechs. So we are very much hopeful that we will be able to cross as far as the investment of the last year is concerned very well. If we talk about the the entire spectrum of the fintech startup, then you can find that the 50% of the total number of the fintech startups are into the payments, lending, wealth tech, and the remaining are into the personal finance management, insurtech, regtech, cybersecurity, and other segments. So 50% of them are actually into the payment, lending, and the wealth tech, which is very much sync in with the world data. So this is, we have set up the Center of Excellence which we call as FinBlue. Fin stand for the finance, and blue color represent of the unrestricted and the uninhibited growth. So the FinBlue is the place where unrestricted, uninhibited innovation in fintech is happening. So this is the name which we have given, and the FinBlue have started just 1.5 years before in Chennai. And this is going to be the National Center of Excellence for the entire country. So as you know that technology landscape of the financial domain is undergoing massive changes due to the rapid growth of the digital technologies, but they have certain challenges of the usability, security, and scale. We thought that a lot of R&D is required, a lot of focus should be given to sort out these issues. All the regulatory parts should be taken up with the government, and we should be able to provide the fintech startups a platform where actually they are able to not only develop their products, but able to verify, demonstrate their capability in the real time. So we thought that we should have the startup of the fintech should have a interface between them and their clients and the users. As you know that banking industry is highly regulated industry. So we thought that the government should come forward and create a right conducive environment for that, so that they can demonstrate their capability and speed up their process by bridging this gap. So this is the objective of the FinBlue, to provide a resource in terms of the mentoring, technology support, and funding to the fintech startup, augment the existing innovation ecosystem, focusing on accelerating startups into the full-fledged company, to develop a technology application solution to achieve, if not 100% cashless transaction, but at least less cash transaction. These are our partners. We are having Intellect Design with us, and NetWest Group is also our partner, Indian Institute of Technology, Taurus, STPI-Chennai, Fintech is the venture capital partner, ICICI Bank, BNY Mellon, Yes Bank, PayPal, and Amazon. These all people are actually supporting this program. BNY Mellon have gone to this extent that they are giving a CSR fund, and all other banks are providing their APIs, and Intellect Design is providing the core banking software. Taurus is providing low-code software. IIT Madras is providing various tools for the ratification of the product, and NPCI have extended all the APIs to us. We thought that we should try to, when it is a center of excellence, then it is not only an incubation facility, but we should also contribute to the knowledge, and we should also think in a different way that what can be done as far as the fintech domain is concerned, and what should be the holistic approach for creating such an ecosystem. So we are having a chief mentor from the industry, Mr. Arun Jain, who is the CMD of the Intellect Design. He has kind enough to accept as the chief mentor of this whole project, and he himself have organized a design thinking workshop, and we have come out with the 6 pillars, which talks about the understanding buyer's need, what is the opportunities for fintech, what should be the international partnership, what should be the funding framework, benchmarking products, policy and technology framework, mentoring, and the training framework. So we have identified these 6 pillars for doing further R&D and develop the standards required for the fintech domain. If we talk about the opportunities for fintechs, then we have deliberated upon that, and then we found that these are few domains where the fintech, the buyers wanted the fintech to work in. work for them, efficiency in the transaction processing, shredding legacy baggage, AI-supported decision-making and risk management, contextual banking applications, enabling instant gratification, and so on and so forth. But the B2 is talk about the international partnership. You cannot move into any domain further unless you are in sync with the international agenda. So we thought that we should definitely, look into the international partnership. What are the best practices being followed by the other similar ecosystems? So which will help us in building the national agenda. So we thought we should have the partnership with the global fintech startups, fintech hubs, understanding global fintech hub index. What are those criteria? What are those 6 factors by which this index is being, decided, and how can we move up in the value chain in all these indexes, which is new financial sector, digitization of the traditional financial sector, fintech adoption rate, macroeconomic factor, R&D, policy and procedure. So we having a focus on all those 6 factors also, and we will try to move up in the value chain into this. We also try to understand the global fintech ecosystem of other models which are available in the world, like Barclay, Yes Bank, HSBC, all those models we are also studying so that we can improve upon from there. What should be the funding framework? What are the 5 T's that investor look for? And what are the 6 questions they ask to the startups to address? These are the funding framework. We would like to prepare our startups for all these questions and what the investor is looking for. We are also actually thought that we should also develop a benchmarking of the products, of fintech products. There are many, benchmarking framework which are already available. Over and above, we would like to develop a FinBlue Startup Maturity Index. Any startup, being nurtured in this ecosystem, we should be able to, create a benchmarking by following some 1,000-point criteria, and we should tell, to the world that this product is to this level, and we are doing it with the IIT Madras, and there are other institutions which are also involved with us in developing this maturity index. What is the policy and technology framework? We should be able to, contribute to the policy and technology framework. A lot of regulatory requirement is there. How can we ease out those, regulatory requirements for the startup ecosystem so that they can not only, smoothly work within the country, but the cross-country transaction should also be facilitated. So whatever is required for that, whatever the policy framework is required, we would like to contribute for that also through this ecosystem. And finally, the 6th pillar is the mentoring and the training framework. We thought that, we should look at the technology accelerators. We should choose the mentors as per the requirement of the startup. And, they should know what to ask for, and using the mentor manifesto based on the designing principles of the mentoring belief framework can also be taken into the account while mentoring and training the startups in the FinBlue program. So these were the 6 pillars. So we have already developed our FinBlue sandbox. It consists of, so many partners have contributed to this FinBlue sandbox. We are having NPCI who is contributing their APIs to us. We are having a Taurus which is giving us the low-code software. We are having, a lot of APIs from the banks which has been given to us, and we are having the core banking software from the Intellect Design, and cloud computing credits from the Amazon, and a lot of program monitoring and the bug tracking tools by the IIT Madras. So I can very comfortably say that we have both the element of the pre-production as well as production grade sandbox with us, and we are in a process to in improving upon on this sandbox. We'll be bringing more resources to the sandbox so that we can make it a unique sandbox in the world where people can actually test their product pre-production as well as on the production grade environment. They can test their product. So this is the effort so far which we have made, and we are under process to integrate more resources into the sandbox so that it can become more easy for the startup to develop their products. We have done our first pitch fest, and we have invited applications. The many applications has come, and the startups selected are into the lending, payment, asset management, transaction, security, investment research, and GST ecosystem. And we are probably launching our second pitch fest late in this year, very soon. What is the way forward? We wanted to set up the cross-country corridors, fintech bridges with the rest of the world. We want to create executable, implementable partnership between the cross-country partners, interoperability of the fintech solutions for cross-border transactions. We want to do co-sandboxing, pre-production grade sandboxing or production grade sandboxing. We would like to join the hands with the other sandbox in the world which are available and work with the various governments for having effective data sharing policy for enhancing cross-border financial transaction. So this is what is the way forward for us. And we are looking forward for the partnership for this similar-minded, like-minded country and who would like to come forward to nurture the startup in the fintech and the ecosystem of each other. And we would like to be looking forward to work with them. Thank you.